This is a screencast of the Citizen Me reading for Lesson 2.10 in 7th grade social studies. Citizen Me, you are a citizen. You may not go around thinking of yourself as a citizen, but you are one. A citizen is a member of a community who has rights and responsibilities. A community is a group of people who share an environment. Every day you are a part of several different layers of community. That means you have many different levels of citizenship. At each level, you have rights and responsibilities. Levels of citizenship. Think about where you live and where you go each day. If someone asked you where you live, would you give the name of your town, your state, your country? Or maybe you would give the street address of your home. The people you live with at home make up the smallest community you belong to. Your school or workplace is a community too. These are the people you interact with outside our homes every day. You are also a citizen of the city in which you live. If you don't live in a city, you are still a citizen of the county in which you live. City dwellers also live in counties. Our nation is made up of 50 states and a district too. You are a citizen of the state you live. Finally, you are a citizen of your country. Can you think of any other levels of citizenship that you have? Sources of rights or responsibilities. If being a citizen means having rights and responsibilities, where do those rights and responsibilities come from? The answer is, it depends on the level of citizenship you're talking about. At most levels of citizenship, your rights and responsibilities are written down. In the United States, at the national level, we are guaranteed a list of rights in our Constitution. The Constitution was written when our nation was born, and it sets the rules for how our nation will run. Each state also has its own constitution that tells us how the state will run. State constitutions also guarantee rights to that state's citizens. Cities usually have a city charter that tells how the city will run. It usually includes some rights and responsibilities of city citizens. Most schools have a school handbook that lists the students' rights and responsibilities. Workplaces normally have an employee handbook. At home, the adults in charge decide what your rights and responsibilities will be. Maybe you have a written list of your responsibilities and what you are allowed to do, or maybe your rights and responsibilities at home are discussed verbally. Rights. A right is a privilege or a claim to something. You would need a pyramid the size of the ones in Egypt to list all the rights citizens have at each level. But here are just a few. At the national level, the U.S. Constitution guarantees really big rights like freedom of speech, the right to vote, and the right not to have the government search your stuff without a warrant. Each state also has its own constitution. State constitutions repeat many of the guarantees in the U.S. Constitution, but they often add more. Your state constitution might guarantee the right to a free education or equal rights for men and women. A city charter gives you the rights to services your city provides, like sidewalks or parks. Maybe it seems like your school handbook contains a lot of things kids aren't supposed to do, and very few rights. But look closer. Sometimes rights are the flip side of responsibilities. If the handbook says you can't do something, it is silently giving you the right to do something else. In that way, school handbooks are the opposite of the U.S. Constitution. For example, the handbook might say not to throw food in the cafeteria. That is silently saying you have the right to eat there. If the handbook says no inappropriate t-shirts, it's silently saying you have the right to wear appropriate t-shirts. At home, you probably don't have a handbook of rights. Even so, the adults in charge may give you the right to eat the food they buy, or the right to watch TV and play video games. Responsibilities. Responsibilities are duties to other people, the environment, or society. At home, you are responsible for doing what the adults in charge ask you to do. You might have to sweep the floor, wash the dishes, or even wash the dog. At school, you are responsible for following the rules. You're probably not supposed to throw paper airplanes, chew bubblegum, wear your hat backwards, or carry a weapon. City charters often contain rules, kinda like a school handbook. Laws that apply only within a city are called ordinances. If a city ordinance tells you not to do something, you have the responsibility not to do it. For example, an ordinance may say that you can't have loud barking dogs at night. If an ordinance says that there is a $50 fine for flying a kite in the park, you know you've got a responsibility not to fly your kite there. Paying taxes is one of the biggest responsibilities you will find in a state constitution. Your state might have taxes on the property you own, income you earn, and even on the stuff you buy at the store. The U.S. Constitution does not have a list of responsibilities, but that doesn't mean there aren't any. The Constitution creates a government that can't work if people don't participate. Could you have a jury trial if everyone refused to do jury duty? What if no one showed up to vote? Or what if they voted without understanding the issues? Jury duty, voting, and staying informed are the responsibilities we have for society and government. So you're going to go back to today's assignment and complete the vocabulary activity present. As always, shoot me a message if you need me. You got this.